Countdown.
Wow.
So. Very much at the record.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. About 9 o'clock, I think.
I'm gonna go home, get my.
You split screen with Thursday night football?
Yeah,
Is there a first place there?
all right.
Fancy.
Oh,
Yeah.
only on Thursday night.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please stay standing while we recognize those of our community that have passed away since the last meeting. John Colleen. William Martin Riley, that's Bill Riley. Shirley Haupt. And Pat Althouse. Roll call?
Here.
Vote.
Here.
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 Have a full board tonight. Fire exits are, this is the only spot that you go out is if there's a problem in the building, they'll go out the stairs or the elevator, because this is the safest way out. Correspondence,
Nothing for tonight.
attorney concerns?
None that we haven't already resolved. Thank you.
All right, so this is the time for the petitioners that are in the audience or on Zoom that if you want to address the concern of the town board, the podium is right here for people in here and anybody on Zoom. Is there anybody on Zoom?
No one on Zoom today.
Okay. Catherine?
Working.
Just want to acknowledge Supervisor for this meeting. Terry, it's been a pleasure working with you through the years, you know, I wish we had a few more successes when it came to Neville and Cresco,
That's
but.
coming.
Huh?
That's coming.
I know, but I realize my life expectancy may not be as long as the Neville. But,
I was talking to Keith the other day, he said, we're gonna cover Jeff.
all right, well, hopefully Cresco someday too, but it's really been a pleasure working with you, and I always knew you came from the right place, from your heart, and I hope you keep involved. So, it's been a pleasure.
Anyone else from the audience here? No, if the answer is no, we'll go to the five after.
But we gotta wait for the public hearing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
So,
could, we could get number
Yes,
19.
well,
Yeah.
say so.
Jump to 19.
What was supposed to say so.
No timeline yet, right?
we could probably just move it.
Number one.
For one is,
No, budget
budget
number.
modifications, so we don't do one. Number two is proof bill is audited. We have two signatures.
So moved. I'll second it.
That's Bill and Joe, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Town board to approve the building department report, the justice court report, the highways report, the town clerk's report, the recreation report, the dog control officers report, and the supervisor's report.
I'll move 3 through 9.
Second.
That's Bill and Johnny, all in favor?
Aye.
Those motions are carried. Number 10, town board to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with Humane Society of Middletown to accept any dog brought to the shelter by our dog control officer, Jill Schellfelt, space permitting. The term of the contract will be from January 1st, ending December 31st, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Johnny and Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. That was 10, right? We're 11 we're doing?
Yes.
Town board to approve the reappointment of Dan McQuillan, to the Board of Assessment Review, term to expire September 30th, 2030.
So moved. Second.
That's Bill and Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
And number 12 is tabled. Number 13, town board to approve Patrick Rudinsky as a full-time code enforcement officer beginning January 1st, 2026, with an hourly rate of $26.18.
So moved.
Second.
That's Mike and Johnny, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, let's stop at 13 and we'll go to number 19.
No, you gotta go to public hearing then.
We'll do the public hearing, okay, and then vote on it, right. All right, so at this point, we're going to a public hearing. Purpose of the public hearing is the continuation to receive input and comments from the public regarding local law number of 2025 relating to Wawarsing Estate 55+ age restricted housing units. This is a project that was brought to the town, I'm gonna guess 2012. They did a lot of work on the sewer and water. And they're looking to come back and complete the project and have a local law pertaining to 55 age restricted housing units. So we've been working, Bill Fire, myself, and others have been working with the developer out of Orange County, Steve Brown, and
No religion.
he said, don't tell me.
He is there, Steve.
He told me, but don't let Bill tell you he's right. Right. So at this point, I would open the floor to anybody that's in the audience or on Zoom, and I don't think anybody's is yet. So if anybody wants to come up and have a conversation about this project for the public hearing, do it now. Come on up, Jeff.
Good evening again. Here on behalf of the developer, just to give you a little history. This is 182, actually, let me back up a little. The local law, although general in nature, really would specifically assist this development at the corner of 4455 and 209. Basically, the approval was for 182 units. It was initially proposed as a 55+ development. They put a significant amount of money into the ground. And then the whole idea of building 182 units and hoping that you're going to fill that with people 55 and over just became too much of a gamble. I mean, you know, developers in general take a huge risk when they're putting as much money as they have to into the ground, and now limit it to 55+ in an area where it's questionable whether you're going to be able to find that type of population in that type of numbers. So they basically stopped for a while to see what would develop. We came back to the planning board and under the theory of a vested right to continue the project, and the planning board agreed that we did have a vested right. So we're at a point now where they're ready to move forward. There's still several steps. They have to obviously make an agreement with both the water district and the sewer district, and they're in the process of reaching out and doing that. But what scares them is that they're going to build this huge 182 development, and obviously we do need the housing in the area. And then they're going to find themselves with a significant number of units that are vacant. So what the local law would propose and would be an assistance to them is that at some certain point, I believe it's 60 days under the proposed legislation, they would be able to then market it to the general public. So they're not sitting with just vacant apartments. I did have an opportunity to review the comments of the planning board, and while they acknowledge the need for more housing in the area, their proposal that basically says, take your approval and forget about it, will let you use the provisions from the 2009 laws at that time, but start all over again is just not workable. To ask them to, after the investment they put in, to basically start over and now build a development based on today's rulings other than the zoning laws, it's just gonna be unworkable. It'll take them a good couple of years just to get that, and thousands and thousands of dollars. And again, they already have huge amounts of money into that. So on behalf of the developer, we're asking this board to consider favorably the local law before them, so that this project can get off the ground and start building very needed housing units in the town. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks, Jim.
Okay, anyone else?
Don Smallsley, Chairman of the Planning Board. We drafted the letter that Jeff just referred to. Unfortunately, Jeff left out a very important part as far as when the board rescinded their denial of the approval. It was also discussed at that time that they would need to come, this would be considered a revision to the site plan special use, and they would need to come back to the planning board to discuss and alleviate any concerns with the differences between a 55+ facility and open to any. At that point, they said, oh, very good. We'll go back to the 2009 zoning code, which was in effect at that time, and we could do that. Our concern, or probably the biggest concern we have with this, is it's definitely a difference between 55+ and open to anybody. They include safety, specifically with the way the site plan is drawn up. There's no security for children between 209 and the creek, which, you start having little children running around, water is great incentive to go to. There's very little green space for children. And they're showing a pool, they're showing a tennis court. As the only real recreation that there is. They do have a clubhouse, but again, I'm not so sure clubhouse would be very beneficial for a 55+ crowd, but not so much for, families. The other issue is the time frame. 60 days is nothing, especially the way it's written here, from the time the first unit is occupiable. So that means it has a CO. That means they could build their first building and then open it up everywhere. The other issue is 55+ facilities tend to draw people who do not want to be around children. And the way it's written is that this would have to be divulged to people who were interested in renting, buying, however they're proposing to build this facility. That is counterproductive to filling it with 55+. Because if all of a sudden I'm signing a lease agreement saying, oh, in 60 days, I may have kids on the property, I may have, it's not gonna be a senior or 55+ facility. So that's counterproductive to selling that under the provisions of the approval. Again, this was approved as a planned senior development. So it was a special use put in for this property. Since then, the zoning has changed and it wouldn't be allowed at this point. So therefore, previous town boards have come forward and said, made the law that it was changed, so that has been looked at. And the other big thing here is seeker. The EAF that was presented was not completely filled out. So therefore, it's very difficult for you to assess the environmental concerns created by this law. And therefore, I would at least suggest that this public hearing remain open so that that criteria could be fully developed. Is there any other questions that the board had from the letter that was sent to you?
We discussed it, right?
Okay, thank you so much. And don't get me wrong, we're all for housing and we agree that we need it, but again, we need to have, being planning, that is what we do. We plan. This tends to be very, short-sighted, and it could, set up a precedent for other people to come in and say, hey, you did it here, do it for me.
Anyone else in the audience want to come up and discuss in any fashion your concern regarding this specific public hearing, which is for Warsingham Estates project and the law?
So if I could just note for the record, we did receive a response from our town planning board as is required. We did not receive any response from the Ulster County Planning Board. Apparently may have mistakenly been left off their calendar, but in any event, we didn't receive a response. And I would just note that before if we're gonna move forward with two things. Number one, we have to go to number 19 on the agenda and approve that first. And essentially what we're saying is that the law itself doesn't create any environmental concerns. Now, whether or not this project has to go back before the planning board to get an issuance of a building permit, that's beyond the purview of this board. And if they do, then they can, reopen to discuss secret issues, but and the law itself is not creating any secret issues. So I would just point out that if we're gonna move forward with this, we've got to go to number 19 first before we approve the resolution. And then there should be one amendment to the resolution. It should be noted that this is an addition to section 112-31 as opposed to 30. So I would
Yes, it says that on the agenda, but it's 112 or dot.
31. 31.
Excuse me, shouldn't that be to 40, let me see, 49? This is under the open development section of the zoning code, since this is.
You're looking at 112-31 home occupations.
Oh, then it shouldn't go there.
Okay, so it needs to go to. what
It
was
should just be a new section. If this is a one-time.
Okay.
So if you want to just add it to whatever the last number is in our code,
So it would become 112-80.
all right, that's fine. And this is a standalone one-time amendment that is kind of site-specific. Doesn't apply to all 55 or older developments. It applies to only those that have been proposed before this year, so this is the only one on the table. The 0.80, that's fine, 1280. Leave the small bit stuff with them.
Well, actually, I had retyped them.
Yeah. Okay, it's got me. Then everything else.
Yeah.
So there's one change there, one change there.
Mhm.
So if you're done, you gotta close the public hearing if you're done with any.
All righty.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
That's Mike Pichetta and Jan Bob, all in favor? Aye.
Jesus.
Okay. Wait, you received number 19?
Yes.
Town board authorizes supervisor to sign a short environment assessment form.
Second.
That's Mike and Johnny, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion is carried. Go back to. That was 19. Go back to. Resolution to add chapter 112 -80 of the zoning law of the town of Washington. Resolution to add the chapter into 112, add 112.80. That's. Here we go. And this is a roll call vote according to Mr. Rath. Yes, I have a-
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Johnny and Mike, and it's a roll call vote. Michael?
Aye.
Joe?
Aye.
Don?
Aye.
Aye.
I vote aye. That is. I will.
Well,
14.
14 is town board to approve payment invoice in the amount of $8,154.68 to Greenman Pedersen, Inc., which is GPI for Barber Road Bridge flag repair engineering services from September 20th to October 31st. So move. That's Bill and Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
Number 15. To approve the payment invoice 81,250 in the amount of 17,580 to H. Ulster Excavation, Inc. for Napa Pump House rehab.
So moved.
The second quick discussion, this was for the work done back in September, for the emergency repair, at the well house.
Great. Yep. So that's Mike and Joe and all of it. Motion carried. 16, town board to approve payment app number 2 in the amount of $435,256.11 to A. Colarusso and Son, Inc. for net taxiway A North Pavement Rehabilitation and Connector Taxiway Reconfiguration Construction FAA project.
Move. Second.
Bill and Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. Town board to approve to reappoint Angela Vialuca to serve 3-year term on the Joint Historic Preservation Commission. This term will expire December 31st, 2028.
So moved.
Johnny?
Second.
Mike, all in favor? Bill?
Bill.
Aye.
Aye.
That's right.
Aye.
Maybe Bill and I sound like Mike and Bob.
Impersonators now or what? So,
I didn't throw my voice, but okay.
okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carried. Number 18, town board to approve to reappoint Roger Buckwalter to serve 3-year term on the Joint Historic Preservation Commission. Term will expire December 31st, 2028.
So moved.
That was
Second.
Bill and John. All in favor?
Aye.
We did 19, and number 20 is town board to authorize the supervisor to execute an agreement with CSG Forte Painters, Fort Worth, Texas, for camp registration for the Recreation Department.
So moved.
Second.
That's Johnny and Mike, all in favor?
Aye.
That's the agenda. I don't think we're adding any other one, Jackie, we have nothing else,
Nothing.
correct? As far as
You guys know this?
motions?
I don't know that.
No,
Okay,
not this meeting.
all right.
No email for either.
We cut Johnny off tonight.
If we start with, what we typically do, that would be Mr. Bates.
Well, first off, I'd like to thank previous boards and town boards as present for helping me along since I've been here. This is my last year here. I'd like to thank Terry. He helped us a lot. Real lot. I really helped. I mean, a lot of stuff we done. Terry and I got involved. I appreciate it. We had no problems this year, but I do appreciate it. That's me, that's him. And I hope to help him out. My son's supposed to take it over, no matter who took office, I'm gonna help. That's me. Because when I walked into that office here years ago, there's only a set of keys on the desk. I didn't know nothing. Nobody even knew anything was going on. They had no foresight looking down the road. Everything's on computers now. These people come in and go, they know where to go.
Back then, there used to be a, well, a little highway superintendent. This is what my rules on it. That was Tommy Slater.
That's me. But I appreciate even taxpayers who vote for me. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Brown.
We're gonna do things a little different, right?
Yes, we are.
Is that the game plan? Is that good? All right. That's what I said.
We'll switch it.
You two wanna join me down here?
Yeah.
Something.
You and I know.
Yeah. Mike, join us down here for a moment, would you? What? Photo opportunity for sure.
Oh, what? That's good for you, right?
All right. Michael Machado.
Johnny Phillips.
It is truly an honor and a privilege to stand before you all tonight as a fellow member of the Town of Orsing Town Board, and to recognize and thank Michael Machetta for his many years of dedicated service to our community. Mike's commitment to public service spans decades and reflects a deep and genuine care for the people of this town and the village. He began his service to the Ellenville community in 1996 when he joined the Ellenville Volunteer Fire Department. Since then, he has devoted countless hours to protecting our residents, responding in times of need, and strengthening one of our most vital community institutions. For the past 15 years, Mike served as president of the fire department and currently serves as a safety coordinator for the fire district, roles that speak not only to his leadership, but also to the trust and respect he has earned from those that he serves alongside. In addition to his work in emergency services, Mike has given his time and expertise to local government, serving on both the village boards and town boards. In these roles, he brought a steady presence, thoughtful insight, and a consistent focus on the well-being of our residents. His perspective, which is grounded in hands-on service and real-world experience, has been invaluable in shaping the decisions that impact our community. It was through Mike's service on the town board that I had the privilege of getting to know him, both professionally and now personally. While I suspect that many of his decision-making may be fueled by a seemingly endless supply of candy that sits on his desk, it is impossible to miss that his heart and his deep love for his community has always guided his decisions. Similar to Mike's role in ensuring the continued success of the warming shelter, helping to provide safety and dignity to some of our most vulnerable neighbors during the coldest months, as well as his long-standing involvement with local youth center efforts, reflecting his belief in investing in the future of our community and supporting young people with the opportunity, guidance, and care. What stands out most about Mike's service is his consistency. Year after year, role after role, he has shown up with integrity, reliability, and a genuine commitment to doing what is right for this community. His contributions may not have always been in the spotlight, but their impact is meaningful and long-lasting. On behalf of the town of Orsing, your fellow board members, and the many residents whose lives you have meaningfully impacted, thank you. It is my honor and privilege to present you with this plaque, honoring your years of service and recognition here at the town.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gonna get a speech? Definitely.
Oh, wait, Terry, you got one with you too.
Stick around.
I'm not half the wordsmith as Johnny Frost, so I'm luckily I get to present to a man who have few words, Mr. Tony Pace Senior. Come on, Tony. Been fortunate to know Mr. Pace for many, many years, and it's fitting that the person who helped so many of us on the road took office to help us out in a more macro, big picture setting and made sure our roads are safe. Of the many accolades by far comes to mind would be the highway garage, that beautiful barn that is beautiful inside and out, the rehabilitation of the old barn. We're very lucky to have him as our steward for public safety. Thank you so much for your time of service. I know Barbara, recently retired. You get to hopefully spend more time with her, your granddaughter, your great granddaughter. Get to keep Danny honest down at the shop. So hopefully this chapter of your life, you get to enjoy because you have earned it. Thank you very, very much for your time.
What do you mean?
Thank you. Congratulations.
This could be a rerun.
I heard this morning.
Well, I had to change a few things because I threw it out. Didn't realize I was gonna have to do it again tonight. Okay. Doing Supervisor Howard, who has devoted his entire life to public service. Went to work for the Department of Correction in 1976, left after 2 years, went to work for the Division of Youth in 1980. He moved to California, took a job with the Orange County Sheriff's Office there from 80 to 85. He then moved back to this area and went to work as an inmate grievance supervisor at Sullivan Correction Facility. In 2007, he transferred to Eastern Correctional Facility, where he remained until his retirement in 2012. From 2007 to 2011, Terry worked directly under my supervision. He was responsible for writing all superintendent grievance responses. I was confident that all of these responses were completely investigated, accurate, impartial, and none of these were ever overturned on appeal. Terry began his political career in 2004 as a councilperson. In 2008, he was named deputy supervisor. In 2018, he was elected supervisor, a position which he has held for 8 years. Terry has always had the best interest of the residents of the town in mind when making his decisions. He always investigates issues thoroughly with attorneys, checking with Association of Towns, local laws, and input from the board. Some of his accomplishments in the past 4 years: worked closely with the New York State Department of Environmental Protection on the new Wawarsing Water District. He, with the help of Councilman Bradley, worked tirelessly to convince the DEP that the aqueduct was leaking and that the DEP was responsible to make it right. Hence, we have a new water district and the residents of Wawarsing are able to drink the water from the faucet. A new water filtration plant was also built for the district. All of this at no cost to the residents of the town. Was covered in full by New York City. Since the completion of that project, the Port Bend area was added, and conversations are continuing about adding Turkey Hill and Carlo Drive to the district at no cost to the town. The town partnered with the village county to apply for and receive a grant to rehab Burnrow Park, which had fallen into disrepair. The grant was received and the park was renovated. A New York Swims grant to completely rehab the pool located at the school and used by the Recreation Department was applied for and received. Work to begin in 2026. And I believe Terry may have been around when the original pool was built.
I was just 15 years old.
During Terry's tenure as supervisor, a much-needed new highway garage was funded and built, along with a rehab of the old garage to be used to house equipment out of the weather. The town board and residents of the town thank you for your service and dedication to our town. You should be proud of your lifetime of public service and all of your accomplishments. Enjoy the family, especially the grandchildren and your wife, Elena. We will miss the waiting for you to return from Stewart's so that we could start the meetings.
It took me a long time to realize it was planned.
In closing, if there is one thing that I learned from you over the last 4 years, it is a resolution is a roll call vote. Presented to Terry Howe, Town of Wawarsing Board 2004 to 2025 in recognition of your tremendous contributions to our community, and thank you. They're copyright. There's a copyright on it.
There's a charge on plagiarism. He's gonna make a movie out of it. Come on, they're gonna give out the script.
Plagiarism, he's gonna use it to make the article.
Oh,
Yes, you can.
thank you. Gotta recognize Bill in the paper though. All right. Yeah. Well, no, all of these facts come from Bill. That was nice. It's very nice.
Bill, anything to add?
The cupcakes were good, thanks to the cupcakes. We had a little celebration earlier today, we had a room full of individuals here, employees and family. It was a nice time had by all, and we had delicious cupcakes and a sheep
We're
cake.
not finished with them yet either.
Bill's trying.
We're working on it.
Those will pocket, take them home.
Other than that, I don't have
We gotta get
anything
your
to add.
glucose meter up. So, I think Tony's talked and Bill's up, right? Yep.
Done.
I'll just keep it really quick, so I wanna give Mike an opportunity to speak as well, so, tonight you heard, authorizing agreement with, Forte Payments for our, recreation department. Huge shout out to Lewis Rivera, who is spearheading, the overhaul of the recreation department website. We are going to be able to do a lot more, with our campers, through that website online, including payments. So this was a critical step for us to continue to move in that direction. So thank you to Masari for all the work you have done and will yet to do for that website. That's it.
And the entire recreation department.
Absolutely.
Yes, you got clarity.
Excellent.
But don't jump up and down.
So we'll say welcome back.
I want to spend my time, I know we just recognized, 3 people who cumulatively, I believe, over 40 years, dedicated time, to our community. And yes, it was their job. Yes, it's what they signed up for. But, unless you've been in an appointed or elected role before, there's just a lot you just can't understand. Time spent, countless hours, the phone calls, the emails, the back and forth, waiting, so I just commend the 3 gentlemen, for everything you've done for our community to make it a better place. I have a tremendous amount of respect for everyone who holds an elected office, let alone for as long as Supervisor Haupt has, highway superintendent, Pays, and Mike's been on various boards. It's very admirable. Thank you very much for the time you've given, to our community. We're very lucky to have all 3.
Thank you. First of all, Donnie, thank you for the very kind words tonight. Appreciate it.
Met most of them.
Most of them. I still want to go through that.
You were talking about mine.
Tony, congratulations. You've done a great job. It was a pleasure working with you side by side. Got a lot of things done. I've always commended you and the guys out there and the girls out there on the roadways. I travel the roads all day as a salesman. I'm on these back roads. I see what you guys do. At every meeting, I always made it a point to give kudos to you guys because you deserve it.
Thank you.
Just, Junior,
Yes, sir.
you got some big shoes to fill, buddy. I don't think you have a problem doing it because you got a great mentor here to help you. Good luck to you. Congratulations. I hope you do very well. Sure, I'll see you in the future. Aerospace last Bill. We ran against each other in the last election, 2 elections ago. That's when I first met you. We became friends, fellow board members. I have the ultimate respect for you. I heard so many good things about you as we were running together. I have to say, there was never anything ill spoken from you or from me. The relationship we built is a friendship I hope will last going forward. Johnny,
I met you and Joe at the same time.
Side door.
Yeah, side door. I have built a tremendous relationship and good friendship with everybody in this board. I appreciate you all. I know it'll go on. I'm sure it will. I can't thank you guys enough. We never took the political route. We always took the benefit of the taxpayers, and I hope that continues to go on. We always worked hard together. This has been an outstanding board. We got a lot of things done. You know, we've seen in the past a lot of head banging. We actually were able to do a lot of things, get a lot of things passed to benefit the taxpayers, which is what we're all here for. Terry, you had a very long run, a great run. I thank you for teaching me an awful lot. Came on this town board and didn't know what the hell I was doing. I mean, a lot of questions. You guided me the right way. You answered every question I had. If I made mistakes, you corrected me in a professional manner, always in a professional manner. I didn't always agree with you, you didn't always agree with me, but I gotta say, we got along 99.9% of the time. There was never any problem, and I really appreciate you. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your time with your family. You deserve it. You've done a great job. Jackie, thank you very much. Every time I've needed something, I've gone to you. You've always gotten it for me. I couldn't ask for better information. Bill?
Yeah, I know, Mike.
You know, great. Always had you by my side. Any questions we needed, I always came to you with a problem. Met you as a great friend too. I'll go to Jeff Kaplan. That's the man right there that started me in politics. I hate to say politics because I don't want to consider myself a politician, but yeah, we're all politicians. That man saw something in me and believed in me and appointed me on the village board. I know he took a lot of heat for it, but I appreciate what you did for me. You set the stage, and I'll never forget that. Thank you very much. John Gavaris. County's gonna miss you, buddy. We're gonna miss you here. There's no doubt. I just hope that your predecessor does what you did and keeps us involved in the county. You were always a wealth of information that we didn't have and we needed here. Things that are happening in the county, on the county level, and you've gone above and beyond getting us aid, getting us whatever we needed. I've worked with you side by side in first response. The emergency shelter, whatever it may have been, I've always come to you. You've always done the right thing, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I'm glad to see everything is great with you. To everybody else in the room, if I missed, I'm sorry. Thank you all. I can't thank you enough. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm still going to be here. I'll still be around. I congratulate Sam Ellis. I wish she was here. I would congratulate her. I congratulate everybody else on this board. I'll be here. If you need me, I'll still be around. Thank you very much. Chris, don't write the whole thing up, all right?
I'm gonna condense it into one line.
Goodbye.
That'll be wrong.
Terry.
You have it on the internet on your phone, right? Yeah, you just-
Oh, I'm sorry. I just want to say thank you to all my other departments that I was liaison to. The building department. I don't want to talk about all the bad things we started out with, but it's probably one of the best departments that we're running right now. It's in tip top shape. Come on, Jack.
He said it's on post office, yeah.
Tax assessor's office, I know we have some hurdles there, but things are getting better there. Again, the highway department. The open communication with the village, we need to keep doing that. We've taken out a lot of obstacles, and I really hope we succeed and keep doing that in the future. Thank you. Let me make sure I hook that up.
Excellent. Thanks, board members. It's been
Motion to adjourn.
fun working with you. You have about, I said 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah, we have a couple hours.
So, been fun and at times challenging, but again, that's what this job is about. Whether it's dealing with our residents, our taxpayers and our town board members. I try to be a little bit of a mentor and sometimes, can do that and sometimes I can't, but our conversation is always, or my mantra has always been, if I don't know something, I'm gonna find out what the answer is, and I basically know who to reach out to, so Bill's got a very good person that would just point to, you gotta read that. So, Bill, thank you for your, attorney leadership over the years, and, but anyway, as tonight's meeting is my last official public town board meeting, I want to say that for the past 22 years, it's been an immense honor and privilege of serving the town of Meworthing residents and taxpayers as a town councilman for 14 years and then supervisor for 8 years. As I wrap up this incredible chapter of my life, I want to express my gratitude to our town of Warsing community, friends, neighbors, fellow town board members, and all our wonderful employees. The assessor's office, the accounting office, the building department, the highway department, the recreation department, town clerk's office, transfer station, water wastewater department, our planning board, our zoning board, the attorneys and planners and engineers for them, the grant writers, Venera Larios, Lavella, Delaware Engineering. All those, we were active, we, meaning me and Mr. Bill Dyer, and at times the board members. And to get involved with all of those, you had to be carrying a lot of different conversations in your head, and it's a pretty big learning experience. And Delaware Engineering, the best grant writer, Mark Blauer, who probably, he's gotten 15 grants, he's gotten, if he applied for 15 of them, we probably got 14 of them. That goes back, when John was on the town board. Probably goes back at least 20-some years, right? With Mark Blauer. So, our labor attorney, Pamela Bass, outside accountant, auditing consultant, Andrew Arias from Monticello, been fantastic. I mean, you just sit and listen to him, and he gives us the right information when you need it, on time, and very prompt. So you can't beat his expertise and timeliness. The environmental committee, the historical committee, the village and town parks committee, the parks seasonal staffing, and of course, the residents and taxpayers who make all this possible. My journey began with optimism, and though not always easy, serving our town has been worth every challenge thanks to our faith and our commitment. I'm very proud of what we have accomplished together, including navigating economic shifts while maintaining a Moody's rate of an A rating. Just verified that this spring. Improving vital infrastructure, relining of Cohasset Water District after 50 years, grant project to maintain the Napanock Sewer District's Cohasset, which is happening right at this moment today. We did the Napanock Sewer project, meaning that we worked with Department of Corrections, and they did a $10 million upgrade on the Napanock sewer, and that also includes not just the prisons, but everybody in Napanock. So we have a very good relationship with the Department of Corrections, and I hope that this board continues to have that same relationship with the Department of Corrections. Reconstruction of the highway department facilities after 52 years will hopefully last many decades again, working with the New York City DEP to create a water district totally funded by the DEP. Just to go off script for a second, somebody brought up Steve Bradley, and I in 2018, when I became a supervisor, we had a conversation with Paul Rush, the deputy commissioner from the New York City Water Supply, who actually lives in Sullivan County. And we had a very good conversation with him and Bill Richardson and Judith Clark. And at one point in the meeting, we basically just told him, you just can't keep supplying filters for these homes. And he probably did it from like 2013 to 18. And we got to the point where we said, this is ridiculous because your aqueduct is leaking and you're not doing anything, really. You're not doing anything. And they actually, 3 of them got up and went into the back parking lot, and the 2 came back and said, Paul's on his way to Kingston, but you have $20 million. And I said, well, it's $30 million, it's going to be $30 million. So whatever it is, you're going to pay for it. And that started the ball rolling. And right now, I hope this board continue on. But before I leave in a couple of weeks, we're going to be having a meeting with DEP about Carlo Drive and Turkey Hill. Because the background on that was back in when I just discussed Steve Bradley and I, we told him that Carlo Drive and Turkey Hill were very susceptible to having their wells, emptying. And as it turns out, a little more than a year ago, they called me up and were frantic and said, oh, we have to do Port Bend. And Port Bend was the other one. And so they did Port Bend. They did about 30 homes down there. And now we're trying to get them, they'll close out the project. I think that's the most reasonable thing we can do. We came up with an idea of, this is the pie that we are responsible for, but that pie was, they were responsible for things outside of it. So, again, I thank the board members that worked with me along the way, and some good things happened out of it. So, let's see, our next stuff. The Highway Department facilities after 52 years. Working with the DEP, improving the parks, like bringing the soccer program to Lippman from Spring Glen a number of years ago. It was a good program up in Templeton Road. And they brought it down to our Lippman Park, having the soccer program there, creating 16 miles of single mountain bike trails that Jackie was just telling me today that the gentleman who does the New York State Interscholastic High School cycling is just, we're gonna end up, you guys will end up scheduling the event for next year, and they've been coming every year, 16 miles, and those 16 miles are, we have an MOA, a memorandum of agreement with the Renegade Bike Club. Douglas Nicola, who's on the Parks Committee, they've been doing this for a long time, 10, 15 years. Initially, that group was Hank Alacadri, Dr. Kraft, not Mark, but his father, myself, a few other people that started that. It was kind of a precursor to what they call the Parks Committee today. So Bill has been working for the last 4 years on as a liaison for the park too, and has helped out a lot in that. So to constructing pavilions at Lippman Park, basketball, tennis, and most recently pickleball courts, partnering with the Village of Belleville at the Belleville Park, like folks have already discussed tonight. That was a $400,000 grant, 200 from the village, 200 from the town. I'm particularly thankful for the sacrifices and support of my family, my beautiful wife, Rosa Elena, our 3 daughters, spouses, and 6 grandchildren. I will cherish the memories and lessons learned, recognizing that the true spirit of this town lies in its people. As my time has ended, I have hopes that the new leadership will continue with the projects that have already started to go on with positive progress for our taxpayers. To be specific, I'm never specific. To complete the long time Cohasset Sidewalk project, that project has been lingering for 20 years. Jimmy Montana has been here for 19 years and was here before him. He doesn't go back as far as the school pool. But I do have hopes that the new leadership will continue that. Those have started and go on with positive progress for the taxpayers. And then, let's see. The Cohasset Sidewalk project is actually, I think it's gonna start in April. So that's gonna be fantastic.
We'll see.
And also complete the school swimming pool at the school, which is a $3,562,000 project. That's going to be done in unison with the school's project, which is the sports facilities referendum that they approved last year. Also, I'd like to see the approve and complete the Warsing Estates housing project, as we definitely need some good new homes for people that want to live here and to work here. Continue to push for the New York State Parks to complete the rehabilitation of the carriage trail. As you look at, if you haven't lived here a long time, when you go to Burn Road Park, there's a pavilion up there, and that was a carriage trail that went all the way over to Minnewaska. You could probably navigate it, but it's actually being in the planning stage of the engineering stage of rehabilitating that and bringing it down to here. So when that happens, it's going to bring a lot of tourism right to that park and into the village, which is going to be a good thing. And I've been saying that for about 6 or 8 years. So, talking to the DEC and, for the Parks Commission, they keep saying that they are working on that, and they're inching their way down here. So it's not like they haven't, just stopped. They are actually doing it. And we're gonna eventually, Mr. Kaplan, we're gonna welcome Keith Rubenstein and Somerset Partners, which is the project at the Nevele and complete bringing, which could bring possibly 200 jobs. Work with Cresco, so I had a meeting with Keith Rubenstein last week, and he's pretty damn close to having this whole financing stuff, and he looked into opportunity zones with the state, and he's getting something out of that, because initially it stopped at the border of the village of Ellenville, but now I think it's gonna be extended to that property. So that's a good thing. Worked with Cresco Labs, I had a Zoom meeting with the number 2 person at Cresco last week. And they basically said that the federal government, there's still a situation where the federal government not providing the SAFE Act, which is a Safe Banking Act, which is where they could actually, even though they're selling cannabis and it's not legal, they can still bank it and maybe pay 4% instead of the 20% that they're being asked to pay now. Yeah, let's see. And also, New York State has got to get their act together, because since 2021, when it was approved, and I gotta preface this, I'm not a cannabis fan, maybe from the medical standpoint, I am. I could say that, but again, it's gonna provide, you know, a lot of jobs. And people, just like you drinking alcohol, you have to maintain some sense of responsibility. So the licensing fees for Fresco is still very, very hung up on the licensing fee for them, because they're a vertically integrated company, which they can sell any product in that cannabis field. And the state charges $250,000 for a dispensary like the one over at Taco Bell, on Taco Bell. But the company like Cresco has to pay $25 million just for the license to actually operate. So right now, that is holding this up. And so when I talked to John Sullivan, who was the number 2 guy there last week, he said he went to the White House, and he had a very good conversation with the White House on possibly the SAFE Act, and also declassifying it down to a class, I think it's class 3.
I think they did that today.
Okay, yeah, so they were, I just talked to him last week on a Zoom meeting, and he said it's coming pretty quick, so if it happens today, that's good. So it's being declassified, which is gonna loosen up a lot of different things, hopefully the banking part of it. And that'll bring more jobs. But at the end of this, thank you, Town of Warsing, for your support and allowing me to serve you during my tenure as town councilman and supervisor. And that's it.
Make a motion to
Bill
adjourn.
made a good point. We have another hour that we can bring up.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
There's your pillows here and you can nod out.
I made a motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye. Carol. Where are we going?